Unfortunately, I didn't realize that Discord doesn't record or doesn't show your video feed when you go out of focus. This interview is not going to have, any of the video from it, unfortunately. Really sucks. I'm super, super sorry about that. Completely on me. I should have checked and tested it out beforehand, but it is what it is. I still think the interview was really, really cool, and there's a lot of insight to be gained. And make sure to follow Martin on all of his socials. They'll be linked in the description below. And yeah, enjoy. So, do you want to quickly introduce yourself before I go through some of the bigger questions? What do you
Yeah,
do? How do you get started?
yeah. I'm Martin, most recognized like Martin Kings in social media. I'm 21, and I've been working in industry and anime industry about like almost 2 years. In December will be 2 years,
Nice.
and I worked in Dandan, in Nier Automata, and uh, Jaiba too, Ranma, and I don't know. This is our These are the most famous anime that I worked on it.
Yeah, I think I saw your post about Ramna One Half recently, and I also stalked your Twitter. I saw
Yeah.
Donda, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool! You worked on the spinning part with Momo, right?"
Mhm.
That was amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Why did you get into
Thank you, man.
animation to begin with? Was there like a show or movie that kind of inspired you in that sense?
Um, I was always seeing like Dragon Ball series, Naruto series when I was young,
Nice.
but I want to start a project, like a personal project of animation. And animation was like a media to finish that project. No, isn't was the main focus. Just was the media to finish the project. So yeah, that's it. Just looking anime from young, and I'm now always watching anime, Shingeki no Kyojin or Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. Yeah, nice. Is that your favorite anime? You would say?
Yeah, yeah, I always say it because I think it marks me like a beginning point because I don't know. I think it's due the I was in the same age like Eren. Like Eren was 9 years old
Right.
or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
12 or 12, 13, and I was in the same age. And when the seasons come out and aired, like I was in the same age like Eren. So yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Was I feel like that season is also when I got into seasonal anime. I started watching anime even
Mhm.
more when Attack on Titan's first season came out. That was legendary, man. That's cool to
Yeah,
hear.
for me, what was the first anime? Like I watched like a series, not just
Oh,
looking cartoons or looking anime in general.
right, right. That's cool. For me, I think the first anime I really like connected with was Death Note. So for me, that's still
Oh,
my favorite.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Now I got the most important question here. Who's your
Yeah.
favorite Blue Lock character?
Oh, maybe Rin or
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I think Rin. Rin.
Nice, nice, nice.
It's nice. Yeah, it's
I mine is probably Bachira. I love his seeing his
Bachira.
dribbles and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Have you read the Blue Lock manga, by the way?
No, I don't read manga
Oh,
at
okay,
all.
okay, fair enough, fair enough. I was like so excited for this arc because I've read the manga and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so exciting.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, and it's understandable. Like watching your favorite manga and wait for a better or the best like a way to adapt that manga in an anime. It's I think it's the most understandable feeling like for a manga reader.
right, right, and I feel like people on Twitter don't really understand that. A lot of animators also want to do justice, right, to the source material.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't think like I can even like think in an animator working in a poor industry like without inspiration or motivation to do a good job. Like no, not make sense.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a passion based industry, right? Like you
Yeah,
have to feel, strongly about animation. Um, Anyway, so let's move on to the Blue Lock production specifically.
Hmm.
How did you get the job to work on Blue Lock? Was it like an email, or I've seen for JJK like Twitter DMs almost. They'll just message you.
Uh, um, I was working with certain PA like
Hmm.
for a year maybe, and he invited me to be part of Blue Dog, like staff, without contract, like uh, the 90% of the anime works.
Hmm.
But yeah, as I said in the TikTok, I was supposed to be part of 5 episodes, I think, or six. I don't know. I don't remember the specific amount of episodes that I want. I will be part of it.
Right.
But yeah, he invited me, and but just for email. Yeah,
Email.
we
Okay.
always email us constantly. Do like through the all projects that we work together.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and I remember from your TikTok as well. You said that the work started a few months ago, and that at the beginning it wasn't too bad. Do you have like a rough timeline of the Blue Lock season two
Um,
production?
yeah, I think the deadline wasn't that bad. Like could be better, but
Right.
wasn't bad enough. Like was reasonable, but it could be better. But yeah, the problem isn't that at the time. At least in my episode, I was the second one.
Hmm.
So the problem always it's like a snowball. Like becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So the people that work, I don't know, just for saying, in fifth or seventh episode, uh, probably will have a bad time for do his work.
Mm, yeah. How would you say that the time that you got compared to other, anime projects? Was it normal?
Yeah, it was normal. As I say, could be better. Like
Hmm.
give more months uh, or appropriate amount of time to do a better job. But yeah, I think it wasn't the problem, at least for my stage, like for my work.
Interesting. Okay. And so for Blue Lock episode two, you specifically were in charge of creating the layout and Genga for around 20 shots, right?
Yeah, I did 22 cuts
22 cuts.
of just layout, no, not Genga
Oh, no
or
Genga.
Nigen.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay.
22 cuts. Yeah, yeah,
And
20
then do
cuts.
you want to quickly explain what, the layout artist does for an anime
Yeah,
production?
it's basically the first step of production on anime, not production in like talking about all anime. Like it's pre-production, storyboard, scripts, and all that.
Hmm.
And then the production stage start with layout stage. Like it's like do an rough animation, setting all the camera moves, the pans, the BG moves, the character movement, specific like shadows and highlights, uh, writing the time charts, the separating the layers appropriately, and just with the focus that director will correct that layout.
Okay, right, right. And for those who don't know, a cut is basically almost like a scene in an anime, right? Where
Mm.
one thing's
It's like
cut.
when your start recording camera in old anime times. Like, okay, I have the cells like transparent layers
Right.
of glass with the characters painted in it, and you start recording the scene. Like I you start recording the scene and then you pause, and that's the cut basically.
Nice, yeah. How long would you say it takes to, lay out a single cut? I know it can,
Mm,
vary widely,
yeah,
so maybe what's like a good range for a simple dialogue scene to a super heavy
yeah.
action cut?
I think like for dialogue, it's a good time to do in maybe a day or half day. But yeah, more complicated one. would be 3 days or a week.
Wow, yeah, for a single cut.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I feel like a lot of anime fans don't, realize just how long it takes for just, simple scene or single scene in an
yeah,
anime.
yeah. I'm currently doing best time that I said. Like I'm doing like a normal talk scene
Hmm.
in maybe 2 hours. Like I can do of layout 3 or 2 cuts a day. Like I'm doing better in this like terms. But yeah, in the past I was so bad like that.
So you've definitely like gotten better as you've
Yeah,
gotten into
yeah.
the industry.
This last 3 months or 2 months, I become better like considerably.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, that's so cool. Um, you also mentioned, right at the beginning of the production, there weren't many issues. Is it? And you said the problem was mainly with like the production committee and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I never like blame or put guilt in the studio
Mm,
because too much people think that I said like yeah, it was the studio, but no. Um, I think the problem, yeah, like always or not or the 90% of these cases is the committee because the committee is like all the people that put money in the project, so they have like rights como about the project, so they put the deadlines, they put the when the episodes will be premiered, the first episode, or when if this will be in like okay, this anime will be aired in Monday, and all the Mondays will be aired the other episodes, or they set the deadlines for each episode, or I don't know. They have those rights about the series because they put the money in it. So
hmm.
the studio it's part of that committee to try to negotiate the deadlines. So, but to the studio it's hard because not always have a good percentage in this committee. Like
Right.
they have, I don't know, 20% or 10%. But there's other cases like Chainsaw Man or Kimetsu no Yaiba that have a good percent of this committee and they can take decisions like more freely
Right.
with more
Yeah.
freedom.
I think KyoAni also right has some. They kind of own a lot of percentage of the anime productions that they make, and so
Yeah,
they have more control over the production schedule, right?
yeah, that's it. And so when the committee, it's like big fish people, like with tons of money. They think in the money basically because they want a return of this money as soon as possible. So yeah, yeah, they took decisions thinking about money. But for the studio, it's hard. But the president of the studio have the power to accept or not this proposal from the committee.
Hmm.
So yeah, the guilt is basically split in these cases, but I think the aim of doing this TikTok is not to find a billion or who has the guilt, just to make conscious to the people that that they see anime like I don't know like a normal series, but yeah, there's so many problems behind that show.
Yeah, yeah. It's impossible to just blame the studio and everybody in it,
Yeah.
and say, they're all the reason for why Blog did well. Since there's so many moving parts, right? And from what I understand, from your TikTok, right? Once
Mhm.
you had finished, making the layout for your cuts and you submitted to someone for further, improvement and whatnot, they just didn't have enough time, so the movement was removed, right?
Uh, yeah, I think that was the decision. Like I can
Hmm.
say certainly that was the problem because when I do my job, like it's so hermetic. It's a word, hermetic, like isolated.
Isolated. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an isolated job because you're just contacting with making contact with one production assistant, and you don't even know what are the others animators in the same episode. So it's
Mm.
difficult to me to say that was the problem, but or how was the production after me. But yeah, I think it was a problem. Like with the time, the director need to take some decisions to match the deadline. So yeah, even before to start production, before to start layout, the storyboards has like slides that when the it's a PowerPoint point transition,
Right.
like a still frame doing nothing but moving in slide.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and there was a lot of
That
VFX work, right, with the compositing and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
I saw.
but that like resource of slide, it's too common in anime. No, it's nothing wrong with that. Just the characters usually have like a movement doing that slide at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, they
But
have
yeah,
like both
it wasn't the
together,
case.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But in this case, I think it wasn't the best decisions. Maybe for the people or the final result, but I think it was a good decision to basically match the deadline.
Right, right. Yeah, to match the deadline, you have to cut those corners. It's just inevitable that it'll happen. And I
Yeah,
also heard that there was, from your TikTok that there was, the pay wasn't great for season two. Do you know? I mean, you don't have to say a specific number, but how would you say, the pay compared to other projects you worked on, and were you paid per cut?
yeah. I think the pay wasn't enough because the like draw the characters was tough because the character has a lot of details.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
the animation is it's difficult because there are too many characters. So to draw to draw too many characters, you have to be well paid and have more time for it. But yeah, it wasn't enough for the amount of work you need to put in single cut. But compared to other animes, I think yeah, it was poor too because I always like this past months I'm around to about like 10,000 yen,
Okay.
and Blue Lock was less than half of that.
Oh, wow. So pretty considerably lower.
Yeah, yeah, it was a like a initial price, like a rookie animator price. Like when you start, that's the amount when you start. No, when I was 2 years or a year of career.
Wow. And you would say like the drawings are very detailed. Like the line count is more than maybe what you would normally see for that kind of
Yeah,
price.
definitely, definitely.
Okay.
The shading and
Mm.
the details in the characters was pretty high, and yeah, I think there's some details that I can say, but yeah.
Yeah, no problem. No, no. That's so unfortunate to hear. And I remember seeing that TikTok post that you weren't proud of the work that you ended up
Mm,
putting out, which I felt really bad because when I read that sentence, I made a whole video kind of clowning on the animation, but I know behind
yeah,
the
no
scenes that
problem with that.
you guys work pretty hard on it, right? Like,
Yeah, there was like maybe 10 scenes that I did that wasn't cut it out or cropped. Like
oh,
maybe I didn't I don't know 10 frames or 15 frames or 5 frames, and there was a still frame doing slide. But yeah, as animator is like. unfortunately, but it should be like that because they don't have the time to do a better work.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. And it seems like from the recent news I've been seeing, Blood Season 2 is kind of just like a historically bad production overall. Um, were you I mean, I'm assuming you weren't the only animator that ended up quitting. Did you feel like there's a lot of people on the staff that quit? Or I guess you said it was kind of an isolation, right? So you're not too sure. Um,
Yeah, I don't know if there was like so many people quitting the project because I know like two others animators
mhm.
or three maybe, but yeah, they are like looking some offers or negotiating like watching for his future basically
Mm. Yeah,
looking
and
forward.
yeah, yeah. Do you think it's possible that season two could get delayed? You know, like maybe Zone 100 when it had production issues.
Uh, I don't know. I don't really know because
Hmm.
I don't know if the problem get even like wrong, but could be a possibility. Like in the past with Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, it was clearly that they will need to pause the production or not the production, the streaming of the series to like enhance the production times or and get a good final result of the anime, but they didn't, and they show all the series in the certain time. So I can say like specifically uh, if they will be pausing or stopping the show.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. I'm kind of being a little speculative here. And
Yeah.
going off of that as well, um, what do you think this means for the rest of season two and the U20 arc? Is it probably going to have the same consistency as the first couple episodes with the very like limited movement?
Mm. I don't think that it's a problem like you can fix like in a month or 2 months.
Hmm.
So even if they make a pause in the show or in the streaming, even if they keep working in the production, it is not a problem that you can look at the final result and you say, oh, they fixed that. It's difficult.
Right.
Like a good time to prepare an anime before it starts to premiere. It's like a year or a year and a half, but I don't think Blue Lock have like even I don't know 8 months or I don't
Hmm.
know. Just saying, I don't know, but thinking like okay, to do a good result or a good final result, you need to a year. So I don't know if they are like will be happy pausing the or stopping the project a year to do a
Hmm.
final result, knowing that the anime will sell uh, as nothing happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate because it seems like they're trying to they're trying to put in, or how do I say this? The production committee, right, is just trying to get their money as quickly as possible with no concern of the actual quality, um, more return on the
Mm.
investment, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and I think it's fair for the people that put money in a project to like wait for a return of this money. So I think the problem is the president of the studios accepting this, knowing that it's not it isn't enough to to their workers.
I see. Interesting. So it might be also some fault of APIC kind of accepting um, something that they should have foreseen that just wouldn't have worked out
Mm.
well given the deadlines.
Yeah, the deadline is always a problem, but the 90% of the situations we figured it out to finish a good result or a good animation. But in this case, wasn't the same, but there's wasn't enough time in in the stages after the animation or after the layout. So yeah, it was tough, and the
Yeah, that's
director
fair.
probably suffered even more than us as animators.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, because he probably had to make some hard decisions to cut
Yeah,
certain things out.
and probably he has to correct all that in those drawings, and probably all those drawings because the time wasn't enough, weren't better, or it wasn't the in the best conditions. So and then in all the directors probably have to cut all these drawings or all these in between instructions, or I don't know.
Right, right. No, that's fair. And you know, something I also wanted to ask is you specifically said that um or sorry, you didn't say this, but I feel like anime fans in general kind of assume that budget is a big thing when
Yeah,
it comes to anime. Like, how important is budget actually when it comes to the production of an anime?
yeah, it is important, but not the main, like it's not the main problem because as we said in Jujutsu Kaisen was some similar mistakes than Blue Lock, and some famous animators said that they was paid like 2,500 yen.
Wow, yeah, that's not
Yeah,
much.
so you have the most famous animators in of Japan doing the most insane deadline, and they were like underpaid. So the budget isn't the problem at all. It's like the problem is not to having a well staff, or don't having a good deadline, don't having a good staff that make the correct decisions. I think that's two are
Mm,
the more important. Good staff and a good director that is part of the staff, and good deadlines. Because
yeah,
like in One Piece, the maybe the last episode before the becoming hiatus, um, the last episode there were like 3 or 5 rookie animators that was his first anime anime works, and they did an amazing job because they have a good supporters or a good director that support their work, and they enhance their work. So maybe the staff isn't that important, but having a good director or big that or people that support that young animators or rookie animators, it's more important than a staff in general.
that's a good point. Yeah, so you would say like the director, or chief director, is really important for anime productions.
Yeah, and with that, I'm not saying that the director in Blue Lock wasn't enough or was
Right.
like poor or bad. I don't say that, but yeah, when it's different when you have a director or a top director that can help the team.
Right. That's some good points.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. I feel like we do kind of, at this point know what happened with the Blue Luck production, and it's super unfortunate. Is there anything else you kind of want to clarify quickly, on the entirety of what you said on the TikTok? I feel like some people have kind of taken what you said and ran with it, um,
Yeah,
and just kind of making things up. So is there anything you want to like clear up, um, just set this
yeah, for
record
sure
straight?
that I'm done blaming the studio or the director or the my production assistant or I don't know all the people involved. I never say that they were the problem. Uh, because as I know, they think that I said confidential things, but isn't confidential. That it's a problem like always happen in all the productions. But just I was just clarifying the problem to the common people that doesn't know how the industry works. So yeah, I never blame the people involved in the work. I never blame the production assistant or the president of the studio. I just don't match with the decisions that they took. For the animators, obviously, was like unfortunately because we always want to know or want to see the better final result for what our work. So, but we understand that where there were decisions that weren't necessarily for the production. So yeah, that's it. I never blame the production or anyone. I just clarify the situation to the people to understand how the industry usually works.
Yeah, it's impossible to blame a single person for such a huge like production that involves so many different
Yeah.
people, right? Um, yeah, thanks for clarifying that. And then kind of some last few questions before
Mhm.
we hop off. I feel like I don't want to get you too hard on Blue Lock and make you something you don't have to. But are there any tips you have or you would give to people outside of Japan that want to work in the anime industry? Because you're in a very unique, situation.
Mhm.
Um,
Uh, I always say that post your animations or your drawing like practices in TikTok or in Instagram in Twitter. But I think the production assistant always want like specific things of the animator as not just like uh, if they know how to do in the Japanese way, but yeah, they always like are watching for consistently drawings. Like if the line in the frame one, it's like this. In the frame 45, need to be like this, exactly the same or naturally moving. So consistently in drawings is one of the best like parts of a drawing or of animation that I think they are looking for. And maybe I don't know, just practice and enjoy the knowing or understanding the natural things like a tree moving with the wind or a bird moving naturally.
mm,
Some or uh,
that's cool. Yeah, yeah. Is that
maybe
how you got?
like
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
no no or maybe animations that has a story like okay the characters have an story just looking at him that's good. That's good for the assistant productions, I think.
Right, to see that and kind of like reach out to you. And I was gonna ask, is that how you got started in the anime industry as well? Like a production assistant just saw one of your animations and was like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah, they saw me in Twitter posting some of my personal project animations.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And speaking of social media, where can people find you? I know you have a Twitter and TikTok, and those will be on the
Uh,
screen. But what else? Where else
yeah,
can people find you?
I always moving in Instagram. I just use like Twitter once a week or twice a week. TikTok, I constantly moving in TikTok. I don't know. I think it's my main like social media, or
Right.
I match well with the format of the videos. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
that TikTok went viral. I was like, thinking about 2.5 million views. I was like, wow, nice. That's cool
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see. Good stuff. And yeah, follow his Twitter for sure. The I seeing your cuts posted on there was so cool, especially seeing you work on Donadan. Very, very exciting stuff. I've been keeping up with the anime for Donadan and I've been super impressed. So
yeah. It's been amazing, and the final result is like one of the best of the year, maybe the best.
yeah, maybe hey, maybe
But
the best.
yeah, but amazing final result, amazing stuff, amazing kind people, and yeah, I hope they called me for the second season, or I don't know if they.
Awesome. Yeah, great work. And thank you so much again for reaching out to me in the YouTube comments and agreeing to interview. I feel like, we rarely get a chance as anime fans to understand what's happening behind the scenes for our favorite anime. And so we kind of just have to speculate on what's going on. But, your TikTok
Mhm.
and your ability just to give this interview is, I think, going to be a great resource for people to be like, oh, so that's what really happened. Kind of setting the record
Yeah,
straight.
yeah, and I thinking to open a like a, or maybe use the same TikTok or open a new one, but in English, to explain to the people that speak English how the situation was. But yeah, I need to get better with the language, because isn't I think isn't enough to explain hard things or specific things from a niche job.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of like terminology you need to know, very specific
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. But I think your English is great, man. I think you definitely could pull off an English TikTok and go viral. I see it.
Thank you so much, and sorry for the people like I'm fighting with the language. So sorry if they don't understand the whole explanation.
Hey, no problem, no problem. Again, thank you so much for doing this interview with me, and I hope you have a good day, man.
Thanks to you, man.
Yeah, I'm excited
Thanks
to
to
see
you.
what future projects you work on. I'll be rooting for you.
Yeah, will be you will be impressed.
Ah, awesome, awesome. All right, well, have a good one. I'll see you later then.
Yeah. See you, man. Thank
Peace.
you for the interview. I appreciate it.